Look, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say to you in this video. Most of you won't even make it to the end, but someone's gotta tell it straight. 99.99% of people that are born broke, live broke, stay broke, and die broke. And that is the reality for the majority of people. These people just waste the time that they are given. They spend all their time binge watching TV, going out clubbing, buying trainers they cannot afford online, and scrolling through their TikTok feed mindlessly every single day. And that's okay if that makes you wholly content. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, but I'd hazard a guess that for the majority of people doing that, they don't live a wholesome, happy life. Most people spend their days dreaming about being successful whilst doing the exact opposite. The thing is, there's nothing special about the top 1% making over $10,000 a month, but there is one major thing that holds almost everybody back, and that's ego. And for me, I think ego splits into 5 major subcategories. 5 things that stop you from getting to that next financial level, and I'm gonna jump into those in a minute. But whether you like it or not, you need to ask yourself if you're one of those people. Are you the person that blames other people and your surroundings for the reasons why you are in the position you are in? Do you blame your boss and the government and tax and the recession as to why you are not successful right now, as to why you are still broke? Are you one of those people? And be honest with yourself. Because honestly, there is no one solution, but the first step is awareness. Awareness to the fact that you need to rewire your brain, that you've been programmed to be poor because of some bullshit story that you've been telling yourself all this time. And the first thing I see people make, the first problem that I see with people that are programmed to be poor, is they think they know it all already. Maybe you're one of those people that have tried it all. You've tried it and it hasn't worked. You started every business model for a week and it didn't work out for you for whatever reason. The reality is you just didn't put in the graft. You didn't put in the time. You wanted quick money. You wanted to get rich quick. But you've told yourself that that's not an avenue. It's all bullshit, right? It doesn't work. That's ego. And I've been there myself. I've been in a position where I thought I knew it all. I thought I knew how to make everything successful. I had arrogance and ego. I started a nightclub events business. I had no experience in that industry whatsoever. I had some very early success, so I thought I knew it all. I went out on my own and I didn't last more than 6 months, right? I refused to ask other people who were already successful before me. I didn't want help. I wanted to do it all myself. And it failed. And I got myself in thousands of pounds worth of debt. I started a clothing business. I had no idea about quality control. I had no idea how to market the product. I had no idea who my target customer was and even how to reach them. And so it failed. I didn't know it all, and I still don't know it all. That's why every single day I allocate at least an hour to continual learning, to expanding my knowledge base. Because if my knowledge base isn't expanding, neither will my financial position. If I think I'm at the top of my game, I will stay there, at the top of my game, with a superficial ceiling that I've created for myself because my knowledge is limiting my growth. And the only way you will continue to grow is if you seek knowledge from other people that have that knowledge. You do not know it all, so do not convince yourself that you do, because you never will. There is always something more to learn, and every successful person takes pride in that fact and takes pride in continual learning every single day. Now, the second thing that I see is fear. A lot of ego-based fear. You're always thinking about the what ifs. What if people judge me? What if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if I get rejections? The truth is, what if? What happens? If you don't do it, you're never gonna know. The reality of it is nothing truly happens detrimental to your life. It's just bullshit. It doesn't matter. It's all fugazi. If you don't get a client that you went into a meeting with, you didn't sign the client up in the first place, you didn't lose anything. If a friend judges you for something you're doing and a move you're making in your life, then that person wasn't a true friend in the first place and you've actually had a positive interaction because you've realized someone fake in front of you. If you had a failure, then you're gonna learn from that failure and you're gonna be better the next time round. There is nothing but positive things to come on the other side of fear. You just have to push yourself out of that boundary. Now, I was riddled with fear for years before I started my business. I was told by a couple of friends who were successful on YouTube years before I started my business that I would be a good person to start a YouTube channel, that I should do that. And I came up with so many bullshit excuses that were just fear wrapped up. Oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the know-how, I don't have the desire. When actually I was just worried about what my friends were gonna think. I was worried about them taking the mick out of me. I was worried about them judging me. But that judgment and that fear stopped me from starting my channel sooner. Who knows where it would be if I started it years ago, if I didn't allow myself to be riddled with fear. Now, the truth is that I've come to realize is people do not give a shit as much as you think they do. And the people that do care are just riddled with their own insecurities and their own self-doubts, and they are projecting that on you. I see this cycle of fear, and it happens time and time again. When you start a personal brand, when you start a business, when you do anything which is outside of the norm of what everybody else is doing around you, first of all, people might take the mick. They might say, oh, what are they doing? Well, they might mock you. Oh, well, you're trying this, or you're a YouTuber now, or you're a business owner now, or you're an entrepreneur now. They're going to take the mick a little bit, right? Don't let it affect you. Second of all, those exact same people will start asking questions to you. Once they see your consistency and they see your resilience, and hang on a second,
This guy's still making YouTube videos 3 months ago. I didn't think he was going to last a week.
once they see your consistency, they're going to start asking you questions.
How's that going for you? Oh, like, do you make money from that? Like, how can I start that?
They're going to start asking these inquisitive questions. The third thing they're going to do is they're going to copy you. And it happens like this every single time. These people who take the mick are only taking the mick through their own insecurity. They're only taking the piss out of their own desire to do what you are doing in some way, shape, or form. So they take the mick, they ask questions, and then they copy you. And when they copy you, you can stick a big fat middle finger up to them because you're not going to help them out. Or if you're a real good person, you might. But I didn't, right? I went through that cycle with a lot of people and I just left those people. Do your own thing. Just become a budget version of what I'm doing, right? And take satisfaction in that. Do not allow yourself to be controlled by the fear of what other people think. Because if you're always limited by what other people think, you're going to be always limited by other people's fear and insecurity, and hence the vicious cycle. So just realize that the only way for you to be successful is to break that chain of fear. Now, the third thing keeping you from being rich is jealousy. So you see a guy revving his yellow Lamborghini down the road, right? And 99% of the time, you are conditioned to dislike that guy. Oh, he's arrogant. Oh, he loves himself. Oh, he's got daddy's money. All of these reasons you tell yourself as to why that person is a bad person. Because you've grown up in a world that by large puts a negative stigma on the heads of people that are financially successful. People that have more money than you. Oh, they avoid tax, they're cocky, they're selfish, they've had help from mum and dad, they got lucky. All of these things that is merely a projection of the insecurities that people have, of the self-desire that they have, of the self-loathing that they have because they are not in that position, because they are not in those shoes, because they are not in that yellow Lamborghini revving the engine, right? That might not be a yellow Lamborghini. That might not even be something materialistic. That might be something soulful to you. But if you have hatred in your body and you project that hatred on other people, that is coming from a place of insecurity. And how do you think that you will be successful? How do you think that you will be wealthy if you cannot even get past the state of despising people for their own success? I've experienced so much bitter jealousy in my life. I had supercars since the age of 25 years old and I've heard it all. I've had people drive past, put their middle finger up at me. You go to a petrol station and say, oh nice, did mummy buy you that? Is it nice having daddy's money? You must have got lucky. And I just laugh because all that person is doing is projecting their own insecurity. And to be honest, I actually feel sorry for those people because they have so much bitter resentment that it is easier for them, and they have decided it is easier for them to blame somebody else than to actually work for success themselves. So if you find yourself looking at social media or seeing successful people and feeling resentment towards them, picking holes in those people, attacking those people, hating on those people, that's a you problem from insecurity. And instead of doing that, instead of wasting your time, instead of filling yourself with hatred, spend your time working on it yourself. Earn the privilege to have that opinion. And stop making excuses. And that's my next point, excuses. It's always, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have experience, I don't have know-how, I can't. Complaining is embedded into us. And the more we complain, the more that neural pathway solidifies itself and the harder that habit is to change. It's easier to be negative than it is to be positive. And so complaining becomes part of our default behavior. And for the majority of you, 9 times out of 10, this isn't even your fault. If you think back to your childhood, the way parents teach their children is predominantly through you can't, right? More than you can. You can't go out late. You can't drink till you're 18. You can't have a boyfriend till you're 16. You can't have a phone until you're 14. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't eat this, don't eat too much sugar. Instead of, you can drink at 18, you can have a boyfriend at 16, you can have a phone at 13. It's easier to say you cannot than it is to think positively, to flip that switch and to provide a solution. It's easier to say no than it is to say yes when it comes to teaching children. And so it's embedded in us to hear you cannot. And so we start thinking, I cannot. And we lean on, I cannot. And so we are surrounded by people that think it's okay to complain because it's easier than providing solutions. Oh man, how was your day at work?
You know what my boss is like, dickhead, like that wasn't good. Oh, my car's broken down. Oh, the weather looks crap this weekend.
Negative, 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 negative. People that want people to join in their pity party so they feel better about themselves. You need to eliminate people that complain all the time, people that suck you into that vortex, people that slag other people off every single time you see them. You all know somebody like that slags off people. Whoever they're with, they're going to slag off the other people, right? I call them yes men. Oh, they're friends with this person this week, with this person this week. Get rid of those people. You do not need them in your life. Think about it like this. If you're surrounded by a smoker, if you're spending all day with a smoker, but you are anti-smoking, you do not smoke, are you going to sit next to that person at the dinner table, outside in the beer garden, whatever you're doing, and breathe in that person's secondhand smoke all day? Of course you're not. You're going to distance yourself from that person. Then why do we allow ourselves to be surrounded by negative people? Why do we then emit negative energy ourselves? We get sucked into that vortex, and that is a killer of success. Negative energy creates I can't. Positive energy creates I can. You can and you will do anything that you set your mind to. So get rid of the excuses. Now, the final thing I want to address is the do-it-yourself mentality. If you want something, do it yourself. That's bullshit, but we've all heard that saying. People don't pay you for your hard work. They pay you to provide a solution. And the harder the problem, the less people there are to provide that solution. And hence those people demand more money, right? They get paid more to provide that solution, not necessarily because they have to work harder. Now, not many people understand that connection, including my younger self. I didn't understand the correlation between providing solutions and working hard, and the fact that working harder does not mean you will be earning more, right? Did you know that 73% of Americans think that on a scale of 1 to 10, when it comes to being successful, hard work is a 10? Right, if I went to the forest and I cut down trees for 12 hours straight, I've worked pretty hard. Am I going to be financially wealthier? No. Even if that was my job, I'm not going to be getting paid an awful lot, right? I can sit in front of a computer screen using my brain, providing intricate solutions, intelligent solutions, and earn more in a day than a lumberjack will earn in a whole month. It's all an illusion. And everyone's been brainwashed since school. That teaches you how to be a good little cog in the machine and work really, really hard. Because if you work hard, you'll be successful. Bullshit. Do not be a cog in the machine. Build the machine. And there are so many opportunities around us for building those machines. The internet has created so many of them. I'll put a link in the description. You can watch a video where I literally go through countless business models that you can start right now, even when we're coming up to a recession. And look, I understand that we are born into an unfair world, where for many people, they do not have the same opportunity as others, based on their geographic location, based on their social economic class, based on their physical appearance. But there are people that make it out of their starting position and join the 1% against all odds almost every single day. And the only difference between you and them is the wiring of their brain and the story that they tell themselves. You could have an IQ of 135, but if you've still got that ego demon inside of you, your life is going to be consumed by jealousy, by fear, and by excuses. You will never be successful whilst you are still fighting a battle with your own ego. So I want you to do this one thing right now. Over the next 6 months, commit all of your spare time to working on yourself, to being selfish, to eliminating the noise, to eradicating negativity from your life, to getting rid of insecurities, to doubt, to fear, and to excuses, and getting tunnel vision over the next 6 months and sticking to one thing until you are successful. Great accomplishment comes with great sacrifice, and it's as simple as that. You need to believe it is easy to get rich, because I dare say it truly is easy to make your first 10,000. First million, first 10 million, that's questionable. But opportunity is around us. The only difference between someone that is and isn't successful is the story that they tell their own ego. So just go out and get it. Love to you all. See you later. Cheers.